Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moll promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Holy crap, it actually played right for me.
It did, but my iPhone unmuted itself. That's so strange, that, by the way.
Oh, your iPhone is listening. Apple is listening. What did you say?
I'm just going to say this
when the intro was playing?
I'm just going to say this to now. Look at that handsome young chap in there in the chat there. He's showing he's got a picture. He's got a new picture.
Yeah, I know. We can actually see his face.
Let's bring him up. Where are you doing?
He's not just a blurry window.
Look at that. Well, he's done it with a background. You see,
it's like a little headshot.
It's like,
oh,
like that. You know, he's probably spent.
I haven't seen him pop in tonight yet, but a frequent flyer in our shows just became a member on the YouTube channel. Roger Kendrick, I believe it was. Welcome to the Madhouse, bud.
Welcome.
Which is good because YouTube is starting to try to strip away some of our numbers. Figures right as I get the damn monetization completely done. I've finally got the damn pin in.
I actually gained 4 new subscribers last night, but I think 3 of them are trolls.
Yeah.
This gave me loads of subscribers, man. They're subscribing, then I block them. So they gear up that account and they don't bother unsubscribing and they make up another account.
Yeah.
Desperate people. They're just desperate. Desperate. And what can you do when you're famous and you're good looking?
Well, you could do like a certain Netflix comedian did and recommend everybody to special needs helmets.
Oh my God. Yeah, you were telling me about that. You were telling the ladies in the chat.
Which is upsetting a lot of ladies because this particular comedian, he's well known for being fairly attractive and has a widely female audience, pissed off his viewers for making a domestic violence joke, to which his response to everybody who got offended was recommending them to special needs helmets websites. Now, granted, domestic violence is not it's a touchy subject. I understand, but for fuck's sake, let's stop getting offended by every little thing. Hi, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie. There's another really good subscriber in the chat there. You've just remembered me something. I seen something. It was a video last night, and I can't remember where it was. Oh, my God. It was an African-American actor, and he was doing this talk, and it was about this ancient Chinese symbolism. God.
I think I know who you're talking about, actually.
And he was talking about this ancient symbolism. It's to do with the universe, and it's like circles within circles within circles kind of thing. And it's like, you know what I'm talking about, didn't you?
Yeah.
And how he was going on about it. And it's like, it goes, I wanted to talk about that tonight, but it's just left my brain.
Well, it doesn't take much knowing you.
It doesn't take much, especially in the winter time, especially
so much fucking crap has been going on, at least over here, man. And it was like, first off, I do want to thank everybody, for the well wishes in regards to my sister.
Yeah.
No, the baby hasn't popped out yet. Trust me, between my mother, my grandmother, and me, we're all trying to help induce labor. But that kid is proving to be as stubborn as her mother. And my for those of you who heard Chris mention last night that my grandmother was in the hospital. That old lady just tried lifting something too heavy and pulled something in her back. That's all it was.
Yeah.
So, all well.
Dots has came to the rescue again.
I said it was the flower of life.
No, you didn't. You just said
I fucking did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I fucking did.
Dots got it first.
You deaf old man.
What's that? What's that?
Well, Stephanie, she's technically not due until the 5th of December, so she's still early.
Hey.
But she has started contractions. The doctors confirmed it. Honestly, the doctor said they don't expect her to make it past this weekend.
I'll kid on a Mrs. Doubtfire for you because I know you like that. Oh, dearie, a baby on the way. Oh, dear.
Yes, a baby on the way.
It's life, isn't it? It's the life of the, I don't know, get what I mean? Life. Can I ask you something? What age did you lose your hair?
I started going bald when I was 12.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Oh, there's the man himself. Son of the naked Bigfoot. And hey, Lawrence, it's just come in to
Humphrey induces labor, duly noted. What is with that weird whispering that just came across your mic?
I know.
I
heard that. That's
anybody else in the chat just heard that?
That's when I started talking. That's when I just started talking to Pete, son of the naked Bigfoot.
Yeah, fucking figures. Pete's in the room and weird shit starts kicking up. Was it okay?
That
First
so
off, now that we mentioned it, that video you sent me from your show last night, the one where it looks like a shadow movement, was Pete in the room when that happened?
Jenny thinks it's the cat. The black
Honestly,
cat.
It does look like a cat.
It does look like a cat. I think it's the cat.
I don't know.
It's the cat. Pete was sharing somebody's what do you call it, YouTube channel. Can't mind the guy's name, and he was going on about the Loch Ness Monster. Pete, you need to come out, man. We need to send you out there on a rowing boat with Dakota. The two of you can do it. Me and Dots will stay at the cafe. There's a nice cafe, by the way, at Loch Ness.
There is.
Really nice. Really nice. Serves nice ice cream and all that kind of stuff.
I've been there. I've been there.
That's so bad. Huh?
I was more interested in for the water, but
there's Jenny in the chat there, ladies and gentlemen, and it's it was the black cat.
See, there we go. Cat. We did the smart thing. We evaluated. We took a look at it. We debunked it, so we're not like 99.9% of these paranormal shows that throw out any random crap.
But there's people out there you've got to remember that would probably take that and say, "Oh, look at this poltergeist activity. There's demon prints in the walls, and the demons are coming in the walls, and they're coming to get us." And I went to the bathroom, and there was blood pouring out the mirrors. It was terrible.
Yeah. That I don't fucking know. I know there's people that are so damned and determined to have everything spooky. And I was like, first off, just because this little thing, this particular item was involved, I'd be a bit more concerned about the teenage girl who was being attacked at home by her stepfather.
Yeah.
It's multiple different things that can cause this stuff. That's all I'm saying.
But I would like to go back to say, thanks, Dots, the flowery life. Do you find that interesting how it's in everything? Because it makes you wonder, is this universe artificial?
You gotta help but wonder if all these worldly mythologies, why there's so many different similarities, is because at some point they did catch part of the story, but being that it's a big planet, they only caught so much, so they filled in certain things. That's why we have so many different similarities between all these different cultures. But hey, would you shut up?
There's Dot says he heard the whisper sound. I mean,
speaking of cats,
when I went, there's Pete in the room, son of the naked Bigfoot. That whisper came out, which I find very strange. So it's either somebody that knows Pete, or it's just a spirit hanging out somewhere. I don't know. It might be anything.
Going, Mike?
Know what it is. Mike, how are you, my good man? Where are you watching from, Pete, by the way? Because I don't see you in the Bald and Bonkers chat, but I see you on here. Where is
What,
Pete?
Did he get banned again?
I checked tonight if he wasn't banned, and he shouldn't be banned. But he's not in the Bald and Bonkers chat.
Picking on him? Is he in the
Pete,
backup
what have you
chat?
done? What have you been dabbling in? What have you been looking up? What strange things on the internet, Pete, have you been watching?
Considering who his father is, I don't think we want to know the answer to that question.
Pete, tell us, what do you put strange things on the internet do you watch? But where are you watching this from? Are you watching this for Bald and Bonker Archives? Or are you watching this? Where are you watching this for?
It's like, it says he's on YouTube, so he could be on the backup channel.
Aye, come into the main channel, Pete, and see if you're working in there. It should be because you're we added you as a kind of member kind of thing, so you always show up. Because your dad's in there as a member too.
Well, it says there's one person watching on that end, but I'm not seeing Pete in it.
Strange. But going back to the Flower of Life, I just find it fascinating how it's in everything. I mean,
Yeah.
what was that thing that I can't pronounce? Was it Megatron's Cube? It's in that too.
You actually pronounced it right.
Megatron's Cube. I mean, it's in everything.
Yeah.
If you look it up, even if you look at a beehive, it's in that too.
Yeah.
It's in nature, which is there's Son of the Naked Bigfoot there. Thank you.
Yeah.
The main channel. It's the main.
Yeah, I'm looking at the main channel. It looks like he's blocked for you because I could see him.
Pete, I can't see you for some weird reason through my Ghost Squad Scotland. Can you do us a favour and go, oh, there, you're there. I'm here. It's popped up now.
Yeah. It's popped.
That is weird.
Yeah, I was just looking there. Oh, that is...
They just popped up for me.
Well, we started touching on some sensitive subjects, so now we're getting picked on. That's why all of our shows are backed up on Rumble.
Hey, Pete, we need to get you on as a guest, man, to talk about stuff one night. But honestly, I find that flower, like the flower, like, oh, for fuck's sake, I can't pronounce it. The flower of life, right? I find it very interesting because it's everywhere. Do you think that this could be a simulation?
Maybe.
Because it makes you wonder. Because I was watching something the other night there and about, right? You look at the cosmos with like a telescope, right? And you see the stars and you see other galaxies out there, right? But what happens if you to travel at the speed of light to get to them, right? What happens if they don't really exist? What happens if it takes a while for them to load? So by the time you fly to them, basically,
I think you've been playing too much Starfield.
What? I don't play Starfield. I play Elite Dangerous.
Bullshit!
I play Elite Dangerous. I'm a fruit seller. I sell fruit.
Facebook messages you've been leaving me is according to the Facebook messages you leave me. That is a lie.
I've not bought Starfield yet. You need the Xbox Series X, and I don't have the Xbox Series X.
Oh, apparently you can actually go fuck yourself in that game, literally.
Really?
Yeah, you can meet different. You can play multiple different games, and you can meet your characters that you created in different save files.
See, I was gonna buy it, right? But then they taken the online multiplayer out, and I thought, bugger that. Because me and my pal Muzzy, we were going to explore the galaxy.
I think they were having issues with it. That's why they turned it off.
Yeah. But I mean, I find it strange with Mike coming in and coming out. Pete coming in, coming out like that. I find that very strange. With that though, with the microphone, this is very, very sensitive, but it's a special microphone. It only picks up for the front.
It's considered a shotgun mic.
Which I find interesting. It makes you wonder, are you there, Mike? Come to the light.
Between the hexes and the witches and the voodoos.
Don't mention the bloody hexes. Don't mention the bloody hexes. I'll be dancing around a big cauldron next week.
All my hexes live in Texas.
And then, Son of the Naked Bigfoot, I need your help with something. How do you get rid of a hex? There you go.
Stop trying to sleep around.
But honestly, how do you get this? But that's the thing that's like I said last night with hexes and stuff. If you believe it can do you harm, it's the power of belief, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't believe, if you believe that it's just got to bounce off you, because I bet you over the years a few folk have hexed you.
Wouldn't surprise me considering some of the women I've been with.
Yep. How are they, by the way? Are they got out the mental asylum yet? Are they still in there?
One has and is on a... She has a caretaker because apparently she went down pretty hard. Another, I don't know. It's probably best she stays in there, considering she tried to ask me to kill her parents.
Oh well, then. This is a bright future. That's interesting. What Pete's saying in the chat.
A singularity experiment using dad's music to play at his funeral.
That's interesting. What I would like to hear some of that music. If you could send me a wee bit of that music, Pete, if that would be okay through Twitter, please. I'll delete it after I've listened to it. No, that if you don't want me to. That's interesting. That.
No, it was also
you
interesting.
didn't need to believe in. Well,
believe in the hexes for sympathetic magic to be effective. That also depends on the caster.
That's
my understanding. Because 99.9 of the self-proclaimed witches out there, they're not as hyped up as they think they are.
Oh, aye. Well, there's
there's that 1%. That 1%. That's something that's a little off about them. I'm not saying this to offend anybody. This has just been my observation about this stuff.
But it's really interesting. I'll need to talk to you more about that, Pete, about the hexes and stuff like that. Dad had.
He's trying to blame that on his erectile dysfunction.
He's getting me back for saying that about the mental asylum. I can't even come back with some. I can't even. I was just.
Hey, I've actually had exes in the mental asylum, dude.
Dad
I'm not
had
joking.
A playlist. Look, Son of the Naked Bigfoot here. Dad had a playlist of music he compiled for his funeral before he died. That's interesting. That.
Yeah, my grandpa did the same thing. So it was interesting to listen to Highway to Hell at a funeral.
That's actually a good one. Highway to Hell. That's a kind of creepy one.
That's my grandma. That's my grandma for you.
I went into a burning ring of fire when I'm getting cremated. Down, 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 the flames going higher.
Down, 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 and the flames went higher.
I'm getting cremated. I don't fancy getting buried. I don't fancy it. Each to their own. Get what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah. Some of the women you've been hanging around with, they try to dig you up and use you for their own pleasures.
I know. I mean, it's like, look, it's the amount of Christ. I'm amazed I'm still long. I'm surprised that there's Death himself is chasing me about with his big sheath. You know, that kind of stuff.
I've noticed that walker you've been having with you on your Ghost Squad Scotland videos.
The walker?
No, there's a walker hidden in the back of your van.
Was that giving someone a paranormal case of the crabs is actually quite easy for what I've seen and read.
It is actually
Pete,
possible.
I need to message you after. I have got a mission for you, Pete. I have a mission for you. And I think you'll enjoy it. But the guy's talented. Look, what can he say? He's learned for his dad. He's learned for one of the most. He's learned for the most talented people. One of the people in the world, which was Mike. I watched the other night. I watched Mike the Naked Bigfoot, and he was all about beer. You seen that episode?
Aye.
That's a good one. That's an awfully good one, guys. You need to go to their channel, All About Beer, and watch the episode with Mike the Naked Bigfoot on it. It's brilliant. Giving someone a paranormal. What's this? I made a promise to Dad. Oh,
exactly. Don't fucking dabble. Either you commit yourself fully, or you don't fucking touch a shit at all.
I will say this about your dad. He had an amazing collection. Some of the stuff that he showed me, the bricks, the knife, some of the stuff that you've showed me, Pete. I mean, some of that stuff's just downright crazy. Can you imagine?
Right.
That one that you posted, Pete, with the old telephone. You seen that one that you posted?
I've seen that.
Yeah, that was really interesting. If any of you are book guys, please go and give Pete a subscribe on his channel. Would you call it? He's not put any videos out yet, but hopefully he will.
Christy, paranormal crabs.
No, but I've been honestly, I tell you something. See my life in the last 2 to 3 weeks. honestly, my ailments has just went downhill really, really quickly.
But
It's
as
as
you
if somebody's
notice,
got a dolly and they're stabbing me.
but as
Honestly,
you notice, Dots, he's not denying the erectile dysfunction.
Look, everybody suffers from that now and again, and obviously,
I know you need a little. You take half a little blue pill to just make sure you don't roll out of bed in the morning.
Well, that's actually true. Did you know, Ken, that, ladies and gentlemen, in hospitals, old men, they give them half a little blue pill, Viagra. They don't roll out of bed.
So they don't piss themselves.
But there you go. No, but you've put me off now. I was going to be asking Pete something. honestly, Pete. Honestly, please, Pete, do like a wee video of all the stuff that you've got at your dad's and put it on your channel, because see that stuff, I think that's fascinating. It really is fascinating. Obviously, some of the kind of stuff that's
to watch, but you just got to be careful with how much
other stuff. I know there's stuff there. If you see it, it can come back and get you and that kind of stuff. But you be careful about what you show.
Dude, between me and Mike and likely Pete, you've seen enough shit to where you just see it and you have shit fucking happen.
That one, did you see what Pete put on Twitter about the hunting dogs?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh my God. I think Bigfoot had an extra Thanksgiving the day after, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's serious.
Thanksgiving
it
hangover.
won't stand up in court. What, Dots?
It depends on the courtroom.
It does depend.
Why do you think the judge always has that loose cloth around him?
It makes you wonder what the judge gets up there with his wee hammer. You know?
He's always whacking away.
Mm-hmm. Whacking away. Was that 37 dogs? Missing 37 dogs?
Yeah.
What, John Morris? Hello, everyone. You're late, John. You're late.
Oh,
we're talking about strange things. Strange things that go.
Chris is talking about how he got paranormal crabs from doing it doggy style.
Ah, God. Honestly, I don't. Honestly, sometimes.
Did you miss me, partner?
Do you know something? I am looking up the way, but I'm actually should be looking across the way. I don't know. Wait, Mike, go and do us a favour and haunt Dakota tonight. Do something to him. Do something, anything.
Yeah, I got my cameras ready. There's cameras in the bedroom when things get freaky.
Terrible, something hideously terrible that you can't talk about.
That sounds like most of the women I've dated.
Look, I will say this, I did miss Mike Coffey because see his videos every Thursday night. Every Thursday night, I looked forward to one of Mike's videos.
Right.
And I've been rewatching them. I've watched them all now. I've watched them all. I've actually watched Mike's videos about each one. I've watched like 10 times. What can you do? Pete, you need to start doing some videos telling us about stuff and all that.
Well, that's his call to make, man.
Yeah. That is.
Yeah, it takes a lot to put together this type of gig.
It does. I know, but that was strange, that voice. It makes you wonder.
I know. See, I was recording my shit for Branson Files and I was getting voices.
It is strange. There's been a lot of weird stuff going on in the world. I don't know if it's maybe the energy in the world now because the everything's going on.
Everything going on right now.
Talking about conspiracies, have you seen? I'm not going to mention the jibby jab.
Yeah, because you just got hit twice on the main channel because of it.
But have you seen the new stories that are coming out of China?
Aye.
It's called the white lung, but it's only affecting children, which is very strange.
Really,
some adults, old.
There's certain diseases that only affect kids.
But do you not find it a bit odd? Do you not find it
that around the same time that this stuff is happening, the World Health Organization was urging China to enforce lockdowns again?
Aye. Yep.
And if for the people, speaking of which, that just reminded me, people think that this was a joke when I said it, but for the people who still try to say, oh, they would never try to remarket certain things, how like Pfizer is supposed to get big money grants because of the rise in cardiac cases lately. First off, you got to remember, okay, Pfizer is the one that came out with Viagra. Viagra was originally patented as a blood pressure medication with the
That's
side
right.
effect of erections. But because
Mhm.
people were taking it so much for erections, they remarketed it as an
Dakota
erectile
knows all about
dysfunction
this,
pill.
by the way.
No,
Expert.
this makes a very fucking valid point, though. Think about it. They remarketed it as an erectile dysfunction pill that may also help with blood pressure. It's called marketing. Pfizer has done it before. They're doing it again. And now he's got to blow. He's got to blow his load. At least he's careful enough to turn off the mic so we don't hear his ape-like grunting.
Look, I can't help it. I've got the cold.
I
That's
feel
what
sorry
happens.
for Jenny.
I've got the cold. I can't help it. Like,
It
take
has been
pity
fucking
on me.
cold.
Take
Why should
pity
we
on me.
take pity on you?
I read today that China have finished their space station. Christ, do we even?
Yeah,
Is your
China's
station?
pushing.
Does that actually exist?
Yeah, there's something up there. They're getting ready to bring it
There's
down.
something up there, but I don't think it's a space station.
They're getting ready to bring it down, though.
Did you see that article? I found that quite interesting. I read an article, well, I didn't read it. I seen it. The guy was talking about it, about how AI has basically they put all the information of the moon landing in AI. Did you see you came up talking about, didn't you?
I believe I am.
And AI turns around and says that's a fake. It's faked.
You also got to be careful if you're not actually reading the sources, or if
I
any
know,
news nor sources.
but I found it quite interesting. Look, I do think we went to the moon. I definitely think we went to the moon.
We went to the moon, but we realized someone beat us.
I think somebody beat us. I think there's things on the moon that's been there a lot longer than humans have been on the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, in about a million years from now, all the stuff that's on the moon that we left there will still be there. Maybe a bit tarnished and all that kind of stuff, but it'll still be there.
Yes. And you also got to consider there's several ancient legends all over the world of a time where the moon just showed up one day.
Now, like the Death Star.
Yeah.
And it didn't look quite like what it looks like today.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you
wonder.
It makes you,
with everything that's going on. I mean, just looking out on a clear night sky during a full moon, I swear, just with the naked eye, you see shit flying off of it.
Oh, aye. Oh, there's people I follow on YouTube, and you see it all the time now. The UFOs moving across the surfaces. There's UFOs. They do it live, so there's no way he's saying that it's fake.
It's a lot harder to fake.
There was one night I was watching it. Must have been about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was watching it on live, and I was in the chat along with 600 folk, and I put, "There's a triangle sitting there. I can see a triangle." And they're like, "Aye," he says, "That's normal," and you can see the triangle sitting in the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see it had like wee lights about it. And then he sent me a message after the show because I made a kind of pal with him. And he says to me, he says, "You do realise that crater, that triangle, right, and that crater didn't look very big, but to take up the whole crater, that crater was 20 miles wide."
Yep.
So it makes you wonder how big that triangle was. So it was about, what, 6-7 miles wide?
You have to take force perspective
scary.
into consideration when it comes to stuff like that. But some of those ships are fucking huge.
Oh, he's Pete. That you bloody.
You're bringing up that damn dog again.
Oh, you Pete. Your dad did it to me. He sent me a message. He says, "Here, Chris, look at this." And I'm like, "What is it?" He says, "Just stare at it for 10 minutes for me." I stared and says, "This is a weird looking creepy dog smiling at me." And then the dreams started. I actually had weird dreams about that. Really weird dreams. Did anything happen to you?
I have weird dreams all the time. What are you talking about?
But you're always getting abducted by aliens and they're doing terrible sexual things to you and stuff like that.
I wouldn't say terrible, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I had shared the good news. Thankfully you can't bring it up here. You know.
Well, yeah, but we would invite him on, but he's been too chicken.
You could come on if you want, Pete, and you could share the image. We could bring the image up for everybody to see.
and make it a real fun time.
We could book you in for next week if you want.
Eh,
For 10 minutes. Oh, if you only want to come on for 10 minutes, 10 minutes is fine.
you know, hide your
But
face. You know,
you don't need to show your face, but you could turn your camera off.
it's okay. Everybody will just assume you're ugly.
Kevin, you could send us a picture or whatever, and we could put it instead of your face at the smell dog.
No, he would have to upload it on his end.
It would have to, well, it'd be easy to upload on your end, but instead of every time you talk, everybody would have to look at the smell dog. Share the good news. I had weird dreams with that. I did have weird dreams with that, but I will say that when Mike died, I had a weird repeating dream. It was weird, and it was like repeating, until I tell Pete, and then it stopped. I find that strange. Very strange. It's Dakota froze. I know I thought you were frozen. I will say this: there's a lot of strange things in this world. What have you done? What have you done, Dakota? Oh, don't
What?
you? No. What have you done?
What have I done?
You done?
What are you talking about?
You're downloading that fucking picture of the smell dog, aren't you?
No, I'm not. What are you talking about?
Are you? You're doing it. You're doing it. What are you doing?
Nothing.
I think you should show everybody in the chat.
I don't have anything I'm doing.
Okay.
I don't know why you're freaking out, man.
It's that picture. For bloody 4 months, I had weird dreams, man. A flipping strange dog at the bottom of my bed.
I was like, it's not like I'm trying to upload the picture of you sucking on a banana. You're paranoid, man.
You wanted that? No,
I did not want that.
Story.
I did not want that shit. I did not consent to your fucking banana pic.
It was a challenge for Mike. Mike,
yeah, it was.
Your dad, Pete, obviously, did a picture of him eating a banana, right? And I couldn't resist it, and so I did one because he sent it, and I sent it to your dad.
And I made the mistake. He made the mistake of sending it to me, so I showed it to his crush.
Look, there's nothing wrong with eating a banana now and again. There's bananas are full of vitamins and minerals.
You need the potassium, and it's a good driving fruit.
What's that for Pete? Son, none of us can sleep upstairs anymore since Dad dies. We all relocated downstairs.
I've heard of that happening, actually.
Oh,
especially for us spiritually charged people.
Because obviously Pete and his mum and stuff like that, they ken spirits and stuff like that. They've seen spirits. And what happens, Pete? Is there any like activity in the room or anything like that? Is there any like weird? Is it just a weird vibe, a weird energy?
Smile dogs, paranormal crabs, you're losing. What the fuck? Did you hear that voice?
I know. There's nobody in my end that can't hear me.
There's nobody here, and it was way too deep to be my cats.
I had an American accent to that.
That was Mike.
Mm-hmm.
That was Mike's voice.
Pete, did you hear that? Yeah. What time was that at? That was
like 33, roughly 33 minutes, 35 seconds in, I would say. Start there. That was Mike's voice.
Mm-hmm. It was. It sounded dead like him.
Trust me, watch some of our older stuff. You'll catch on what we're talking about.
Very interesting, that voice, because I've been obviously watching a lot of shows lately, and I watched that one, but they were all about beer the other night. And I ken his voice. I just ken his voice, and that was very creepy. It was creepy, but
that was Mike.
Not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's like I think he's honestly.
It's like, how you doing, buddy?
I'd honestly say this. I think there's people. I think he's here. I think he's running about us, and I think
we should probably give a little bit of background because we do have a lot of new people that signed on with us. All right, for those of you who don't know, okay, Mike Naked Bigfoot Coleman, he was a frequent guest of ours. 13 episodes total that he's been on with us. He very knowledgeable when it came to the supernatural. I think Dots, you may have been around to see a couple of his later appearances. Mm-hmm. He was heavy into voodoo, highly knowledgeable about his stuff.
Yeah.
There's been cases where stuff that was tied to me and the stuff that was tied to him did not like each other, and it was last year. He sadly passed away.
No.
The Smile Dog was one of the things. Paranormal Crabs. Let's just say he's a very, very raunchy old fart. He was like the grandpa of Bald and Bonkers.
Yeah, he was. It was when I had a question or something I didn't need to Kenny, I went to Mike and he told me. It was like Gandalf, really. It was like the younger version of Gandalf.
Yeah.
It's weird because that was a weird voice. That was like him because I was watching him the other day there and he was riding that tractor. That was funny. See that day he did that live. I was like, oh no, his son's going to be pissed off that he's taking the tractor. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
God damn.
It
was creepy, but that was Mike's style.
It was. But he always said he would come back and
We always said the door was open.
I definitely think he's running about his. I definitely think he's running about his son. He's with his son all the time. He's with his family all the time, looking after his son's farm and stuff like that. And honestly, Mike, if you can hear me, please visit Dakota tonight. Maybe visit me if you want.
Honestly, I'm half tempted to go back on my security cameras to see if they caught anything.
Look, it was. If he was he is a ghost, but if he was a ghost and he visited me, I think I'd welcome him because he was such a nice person. You know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody's in the chat there. I don't know. He might get visited by Mike the Naked Bigfoot tonight. Dots, you're in for a treat. You better get a cup of tea ready for him.
Just watch out for the pink bodysuit. The pink unitard.
Oh my god, I remember that.
You should probably go visit that guy. Oh wow, he owes me money.
I do know that when I was talking to the thing that I've known many folk, I think I tell you actually, Dakota, that a couple of days before, I think it was 4 days before Mike died, I was talking to him. Mind he came on to the show that night.
Mm-hmm.
Mind. And after the show, he was talking and he was going on about Pete and he was saying he was awfully proud of Pete because of all the stuff that he'd done.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's always going to be here because I can tell you something now. If I was dead, I'd be hunting you.
We're always bound to our family.
Good sure. And it's hard to know, but in the years to come, you can turn around and you can look back. You know what I mean? But that was weird because that was like his voice. Mike, if you're about going to try it one more time, please. You get your EMF meter there. Mine's is, I don't know where mine's is. I've put it somewhere. I was tidying up the other day.
Come on, fucker, stay up.
Is that what you say quite a lot?
Figures we were talking about boner pills, and all of a sudden Mike's voice comes up.
Oh, God.
There we go.
Go and do us a favour if you can hear us, Mike. Go and do us a favour and just run your hand over the top of that, just once. That's all we ask. Again, it takes a lot of energy out of you and stuff. But yeah. So what else is happening? What was that?
I don't know.
It sounded like something jumped onto something. So what else is happening in the world? Siberia.
Yeah.
What do you think about Siberia? They're saying that it's warmed up 4 degrees in the space of 2 days. Oh, we're gonna melt! The oceans are rising! All the climate activists are saying like that. Whoa, we're doomed.
It's warmed up 2 fucking degrees.
Aye, the ice caps are melting. That's that peat you'll be able to. Your house, your
ice
home,
caps
all the
are
home in the
melting
house.
there in some parts, but in other parts that they're refreezing back up. This climate change, it's natural. Planet has a natural cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to admit, with everything going on in the world lately, it does kind of feel like something's ramping up.
Mm-hmm. I do think there is something about to happen. I mean, I don't think it's going to be war, to be purely honest with you. I don't think war's going to do it. I think there's got to be a disaster. I mean, have you heard the latest about the solar flares, the X-class flares and stuff? They keep going on about this, how it's got to take the internet down for months.
Yeah, they also got like the fearmonger, though. You got to consider that. Yes, there's probably going to be some pretty severe disturbances, and let's face it, internet goes down. Everything goes down these days.
You think about it, everything's internet now. I mean, I was in the shop today and I used my watch to pay for my groceries. Beep. And that's all internet. I mean, the internet is doing all the cashless society basically breaks down. Everything's run by internet. Internet, right? I live next to a huge wind farm, right? And there's something like 200 windmills, turbines. Now, they're all controlled by one guy in a shed and a building somewhere in London, and I'm in Scotland.
Yeah.
Before that one, they just turned off, and that one. The internet is doing a little bit of that. Everything will grind to a halt. Everything nearly will grind to a halt. Was that all the planets in the system are heating up? It's not your carbon footprint exactly, though. I wonder what's causing it. If all the planets are heating up, is it the sun that's causing it? It's the only thing.
The sun's acting up too.
Or is it something else that we can't see? Is it a body coming into the solar system that's quite big?
It's already been there.
We know that, but I'm just trying to bring it in for a particular thing. What is it? Planet X or whatever it's called, or whatever it's called.
It's been hanging around for a while, and first off, and second off, it's not actually a planet.
It's a ship.
It's a big ass ship.
It's a space station. That wouldn't cause the galaxy to basically warm up, run about the planets and all that. I mean, this system to warm up. I think it's the sun. I think they're doing something.
Their system's activating on all sorts of planets. The energy from the sun, as Dots is saying, is also heating up. And it's a density shift. It's going to get chaotic for a bit because it was supposed to happen quite some time ago, and they're trying to rush the process as safely as possible, but it's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to get chaotic for a while. I mean, hell, the last couple of weeks we've had constant shootings near me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I will say this, that I've noticed that obviously the moon can affect people. And I've always wondered, right, see if the moon was fake, right? Hypothetically say it was a space station, right? How would the moon make people go strange if it was fake?
Well, here's the major theory behind why it seems like that when it comes to the mainstream side of things is that obviously the full moon's out, you're going to have more light in the dark, people are going to be more likely to pull some stupid shit. That's why it's also called lunacy. And that's where the phrase lunatic comes from. It's been well known that for some reason things act up around the full moon. menstrual cycles, women going into labor. It links up.
It makes you wonder if inside the moon there's this weird energy source that's been there, that's made changes, that makes the changes on the Earth deliberately.
You're also going to consider the human body isn't isolated from outside influence. In theory, you could hack into it, kind of like, say, like a remote control. You can use a remote to control what you do on TV. The human body can be affected by EMF, and it can make you do some crazy shit. It's actually how it's been found, how MK Ultra programs were started up, because they realized they can make people have complete psychotic breakdowns.
Yeah.
From a safe distance.
Yeah. And you look at some shooting incidents that's happened over the years, especially in America, and some of the people were conspiracy theorists that were actively investigating these kind of things, and all of a sudden they went mad and started shooting people, which I find interesting.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those particular cases, because there's some where it does seem like, by all accounts, there was genuine delusion and people trying to be eager and think they're spreading the real information, only end up feeding a dangerous delusion that caused people to lose their lives. Yeah. Now, I'm talking about like that family here in the States, I believe it was on the East Coast, where the father killed his wife and 2 kids because he thought they were reptilians.
I seen that.
He killed them with a fucking spear.
I heard that. I heard about that. I watched a lot of that true crime stuff, and I seen it. Yeah. I seen them going on about it. The police officer was talking about it. That's interesting. What's that, Lawrence? How about all the gas? Bring it up here. How about all the gas and oil flaring up in Iraq? That's interesting. What do you mean flaring up? I didn't know about that. And there's, as a nurse, I can vouch for it. See, that's, I went to the hospital one day to pick somebody up, and it was like mental. All the drunk folk were running about. It was like something like a mad, crazed. I don't know how nurses and that can deal with that. Same with the police and stuff like that. I think it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. You
have to disassociate yourself. You have to think about it like you're watching a movie.
See, it's interesting you say that, because I was talking to... I've got a pal, actually, in the Xbox. I don't know if you ken him. He comes on now and again, but you'll not ken him. He's joined the police force here in the UK. And he's been a police officer now for about 1.5 years. And I was actually talking to him about all kind of things that he's seen. And he was telling us that he goes to a lot of like suicides and stuff like that. And he says, I've done about 9 where I've had to go to the families and tell them I found like their daughters or I found like their sons that's been involved in accidents. And he says, I was trained to like disassociate myself, to like act a certain way, because when you tell them, sometimes they collapse and they flare and start bursting out greeting and all that. And he says, if we go to a woman, we usually take a female officer with me, or if it's a man, it's like 2 officers. That's what they do. I mean, you think about having that kind of responsibility, going to somebody and telling them that their daughter's been killed in a car crash. That must be terrible.
Well, obviously, you know what my mom does for a living. She's a police dispatcher. One of the things that always kind of fucked with her is that she doesn't know how the story ends. I mean, and it's something that she's been telling me, that she's been running into this issue where the people that they're hiring on are like, why are people being so rude? They're being so mean. It's like,
yeah,
you're meeting these people on the worst day of their lives.
Yep.
And it's just, you got to disassociate yourself. But there comes some point. The only times I've ever seen my mother really break down because of a job that's gone bad is either A police officer got killed in the line of duty.
Mm.
A child was killed, rather gruesomely.
Mm.
Or one of the ones that she kind of that really messed with her was a helicopter crash, and let's just say that the phones didn't cut off,
Oh, for
and
God's
the
sake.
people fully believed that they had lost their limbs in the
Oh, my
accident.
God.
She found out later they actually didn't. But
God.
nevertheless, listening to that phone call, because she can't hang up.
See, that's something I would like to go. Somebody who would get on the show as like an ex-police officer. I mean, I've got friends that are police officers, and they watch this show. They're probably watching this to now. They'll probably watch this back, but they've not been police officers for long enough. They've only been like 2-3 years, right?
Still,
It's like the veterans of the police that have been doing it for like maybe like 20 years that I would love to interview. That have seen weird shit. I mean,
there's
I
one
bet they've
gal
seen
I
some
would
weird shit.
absolutely love to get on. She was one of the speakers at the conference in Orlando, Nikki Allen. She actually used to be a homicide detective, but she's also a psychic medium. And
Oh, that would come in handy.
not really, because not only are you you have to keep a certain face when you're dealing with a family member who just found out about their loved one. You got the freaking loved one trying to speak up, and it's just like they can't.
That's.
They can't separate the worlds.
I'm just going to read the chat here. A study is saying that people. What's that? I'm just going to go back on that a wee bit. Just
Recent study saying Lawrence is talking about the firing of the gas. The recent study saying poisoning people for miles around. That, oh, duh. He's trying to explain what's going on. It's burning off the excess gas. It's also illegal. Heavily, because it poisons the air.
Of course it does.
And Nikki is fucking hilarious.
It's can you imagine being a psychic though? And on one hand you're trying to deal with the crime scene. I shouldn't be laughing. You're dealing with the crime scene, and on the other hand, there's a dead person. Like, listen, I was murdered to that person.
Everyone thinks that having that sort of ability would be amazing. You solve the crimes quicker, and this and that and this and that. No, you fucking won't.
No, because you still need the evidence to go to somebody's house and get search warrants and stuff like that. You can't just say, "Oh, the ghost told me that the guy used a gun hidden in his cupboard." You've got to get access to that house to get in and stuff like that. I mean, I watched these true crime things, and I'll tell you something now. I'm shocked about how folk have tried to get away with stuff. At how they've tried, but I'll tell you something now. There's police detectives out there, and oh my god, they are amazing. Some of them, how they managed to figure it out.
Dude, you don't know the half of it. Not too long ago, a case that was actually just 20 minutes away from me ended up on a true crime documentary. It was it was rather gruesome. It was a well-known drug house where the bodies of, I believe, 2 children were found in barrels.
Oh my god.
And that location is still a well-known drug house. In fact, there's actually, if I remember correctly, there's actually still an unsolved murder involving where a woman was killing off little boys.
Good God.
I don't believe she was ever officially caught.
That's who we need to get somebody on the channel one night to talk about serial killers, because it's something that we've never really went into before. And it has got a kind of paranormal side to it. I think, see, like a specialist, like an FBI agent or something like that, an ex-FBI agent, if they wanted to come on, if there's anybody out there wanted to come on. Because they're obviously famous. Yeah, there's a lot of... I mean, how many serial killers do you think there is right now active in the United States?
The official FBI statement is that within the United States, at any given moment, there's 50 active serial killers.
Oh my God.
Minimum.
That's bad, isn't it?
The thing is, they go for
Years.
low. No, it's the thing. Some of them may be able to keep their urges under control for quite some time, but they also go for low visibility targets. They go for
Yeah, look at
people that will not have loved ones looking for them.
look at it. Is it the Donner murders?
They
made a
look
movie
for
about him, Jeffrey Donner. They made a movie about him. Aye.
Yeah, and it's just like sex offenders. We have all of these people trying to push for, child molesters to be socially accepted, yet they're pushing away the one thing that scares off those predators, the father. If you talk to some of the people that have been caught, they fully admit what they look for, and we are trying to basically alienate everybody that scares the shit out of the genuine monsters in this world. That's honestly, it's not the level of how bad a body gets chopped up. It's the part that honestly horrifies me about this type of stuff is that we are slowly trying to alienate the very people that would stand up to them.
What's that one Dot says? I've never heard of that. What about eating cornflakes? Cereal?
Oh God, Dots!
I didn't get that to the last day. That's kind of like the guy in the fish and that's kind of like the guy in the fish and chip shop that was done with a salt and barley.
Oh dear God! Oh God!
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's any law enforcement officers out there,
were you
please.
Military man? Because you've got that vibe about you.
The serial killers. Oh my God! Aye, did you know, Ken, that the guy that owns the chip shop in my village was done for assault and battery?
Oh God!
That's an old one.
That was too perfect. That was too perfect.
I know. Well done. Honestly, well done.
Good job, Dodds. And everybody who's listening to the podcast side, and they're like, what the fuck?
I know.
I can just imagine the horrified expressions on people's faces right now.
I'm a Cocoa Pops man. I like my Cocoa Pops. What's your favourite cereal? What's your favourite cereal? Come on. Lucky
Reese's
Charms?
Puffs or Captain
Is there
Crunch?
such a thing as Reese's Puffs? I've never had them. I bet they're good.
Do you not have Reese's Puffs in Scotland?
No, I've got a Lucky Charms. They're good.
Of course you're looking for
Captain Crunch. Get them or not?
Not Reese's Puffs. The Reese's brand cereal.
Really? Filled with
you seriously do not have Reese's Puffs in
I've
Scotland?
seen them, but I've never had them. I've seen them, but I've never bought them because I never thought anything about
it's
them.
like the candy, but crunchy. It's good.
Candy, that's a great thing to give kids in the morning. Here, son, have a large bowl of sugar.
That's pretty much most American cereals. That's the most American diets. Danny Anderson, she was going on a tirade that she noticed that she picked up weight after leaving the U.S. for 3 days.
Yeah. I'm going to say this to new guys. The United States, you have got some amount of crazy concoctions out there.
I know. There's been a lot of Brits that have been coming over here lately who go back home and started to realize how much weight they gained during their vacation.
Aye. Mm-hmm. But you haven't got this. I am blue.
I know.
My precious.
Maybe in some of the bigger cities that import a lot of that shit, but not where I'm at.
This stuff's dirt cheap out here. It's a national drink, and it's like it works out at like 25 to 30 pence a can. It's about 40 cents a can.
I know.
It's everywhere. Big, massive bowls. It's like the American version of Mountain Dew. That stuff.
Not really. You don't get a fucking buzz off of Iron Brew.
There's caffeine in it. It's got caffeine.
Well, I also have a high caffeine tolerance, so.
It's got caffeine, and it's also full of sugar. You can feel your teeth rotting.
I can actually handle what would be fatal to most people in regards to caffeine doses.
I can't take the Red Bulls. I had one of them once. I thought I was going to take a heart attack.
Oh, so you like Steve Irwin, huh? I had one cup of coffee like 10 years ago, nearly blew my head off. I still haven't come down.
But anyway. So, what's the show tomorrow night? What we're discussing tomorrow night on the show?
Yeah, probably another BS episode because I had to schedule these last minute because I didn't know if I was going to be in the hospital or not.
On the 16th, we do have All About Beer coming on.
Aye. Yes. And since you did say that, we do want to extend well wishes to our dear friend Lisa Fry, whose mother is going to be going in for open heart surgery here soon. So much love, Lisa. We're here for you.
Prayers. Pete, if you're about, you could join us on the 16th if you want. You could come and have a laugh. It's a Christmas kind of special kind of thing with All About Beer.
So would you want to take the Christmas hiatus?
I don't know. We'll take it before Christmas. Obviously, we'll take it out of the Christmas period.
Do you want to do it the weekend after the 16th to start, and we just come back on the 6th of January?
Aye, let's do that. Aye, because it'll be busy Christmas shopping and
I know. It's like I haven't even been looking for guests because I know everybody's going to be wanting to cut off for family.
Well, I've booked. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've also, if you went to the company calendar, I've booked Leonard Lowe to come on and talk about hauntings.
That's right, you did. You're actually contributing. I'm impressed. Yeah, good job.
I've actually got a couple more people that I'm eyeing up to that I'm trying to get them on. So, Leonard Lowe's an interesting.
Be careful not to be too creepy about it. But if anybody is interested in coming on Bald and Bonkers, we do have. I am bringing back the little sign-up form. So if you feel like you got something you want to help promote and you want to come on a show for an interview, feel free to come on. We have all sorts of projects coming together. 2024 is setting up to be one hell of a year already.
Of course, Neil Story's coming back on today. I was talking to him tonight. So he's coming back in the new year. But he wants to meet All About Beer, so it might be a special episode with them.
Well, see what happens.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, of you who are interested in the book side of things, we have books planned all the way into the middle of next year, ready to be released. So, if you want to get express digital copies, join the Patreon side of things. I know we're squeezing money out of you. I know we're such bad people, but we're going to do some good for it. I promise.
There we go. Yeah. I know. But I've not checked my lottery tonight, so I could be sitting here a multi-millionaire. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll expect your investor's fee of $999 million. I don't know.
I need to treat everybody that's in the chat. Everybody that's came in the chat tonight. If I win the lottery, I'm going to treat you like something.
Yeah, a 1 pence little stamp.
No. If I had to win about 7 million or something like that, I'd probably give some money away to everybody in the chat tonight. I'd buy Dots unlimited tea bags for life.
I think he's more the tea leaf type of guy.
Oh, why? Are you a tea leaf man, Dots? Or you're just a serial killer?
God, that was perfect. Okay, between Mike and that, I think this was this was a good BS show. So anyway, much love, y'all. Stay safe, stay warm. See y'all next time.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love, and take care. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Moore promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
What have you done?
Nothing.
You've done something.
Why are you
You've
assuming
done.
I did something?
Yeah, because
Why
you've
is
done something.
everybody treating me like I'm such a nasty dick that just always up to something?
Because you're.
I'm a nasty dick.
No. Everybody loves you, Dakota. Question: what have you done? Is it me with the banana?
Nothing.
Is it? Have you
I have
put?
not done a
Is it a
thing.
t-shirt? Is it a
I have
t-shirt?
not done a thing.
Look, ladies and gentlemen,
I don't even
good.
know if I'm.
Good
I think I
afternoon,
may have
ladies and
deleted
gentlemen.
the
Happy
banana
Sunday.
picture.
Happy Sunday. You
I
know.
wouldn't know if it was happy, but hey.
I don't know. It's officially frozen. This episode is. I mean, it's called the officially frozen.
I couldn't think of anything. Like I said, I was expecting to visit the hospital to check on my sister because she had the baby, but no.
Do you know what I found, ladies? Do you know what I found online, ladies and gentlemen? And Dakota's so happy. I'll need to send him a bag of them. Is Iron Brew bath salts?
Apparently, that's a thing. Oh.
Look, it's Oh, Galactic Stardust. Welcome and thank you for becoming a member of the channel.
Yes. Thank you to all who actually did it, and screw you to whoever rejected their membership. I'm just joking. I'm sure you had a good reason.
Yeah. Hello, Lance. Hello.
Oh, God.
But honestly, we have got a surprise for this on the 16th, guys, of this month. We have got a surprise for you, but you're going to have to wait and see what it is.
What is it? Why are you talking about? I don't remember scheduling anything.
The 16th of this month, we've got
the 16th
all
of this
about
month,
beer.
Yes.
We've got all about beer coming
We're going to be drinking?
Well, I don't know if you're going to be drinking. I'm not going to be drinking. I don't drink. Only at Christmas Day I drink.
Only on special occasions, but you're not that all that hot.
I only have a special time of the year, a special time of the year. But I will say this for Alan that's watching. Alan was asked me to ask you, can you please explain paranormal crabs for Alan?
Dude, between paranormal crabs, between Smile Dog, and everything else that we went off the rails yesterday.
What? Smile Dog skipped her?
There's so much we have to explain. There's a lot of people who weren't here with us when Mike was still alive, though. You got to remember that.
Well, everybody was here last night. It was in the chat. Everybody, 90%.
Well, yeah, they were very fucking confused.
And the podcast listeners, Smile Dog, ladies and gentlemen, is a fantastic picture, which we need to show you one night. And maybe we'll show you on the special show we're coming out. And honestly, it did wonders for my sleep patterns. It really did. I would just like to say thank you, Mike, the Naked Bigfoot, for that. Thank you for the experience you gave me there.
Mm-hmm.
It was strange last night, though, with the strange sounds and the voices.
That was, I know.
It's only when Pete comes in.
Yeah, so.
It's the ghosty Mike floating the new.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on his boy. That's all.
But yeah, we'll need. I think all about beer because I want to get more into that story. See the story of how they talked about their UFO experience and that plane. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was.
It really was.
Actually, getting to hear the fucking audio from that.
I know.
That's something else. That's something else.
I'm amazed that no other bigger channel has asked him on to talk about that because that's quite good stuff, What's that in the chat there? Lawrence, good man, Dots. How are you? Lawrence wasn't it? Lawrence was here last night, was he? Was it Lawrence here last night?
Yes, he was. He was here.
Lawrence was here last night. Just the dementia. Who are you? I think I'm Canadian. I have to put a Canadian voice on for my Siri to work on my iPhone.
Do you know what that actually means, right?
No, I don't.
A. It's an old English way in Canada to apologize for being so annoying.
Oh, did you change my name? You chicken.
No.
You bugger that you watch him. Bloody hot. Terrible. Honestly. Honestly. What is that
what
anyway?
is that supposed to be?
What?
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't have a clue. It's one of an American term that he's made up.
Molester.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Please, Mike, if you want to get me something for my Christmas, please visit Dakota in the night and do terrible things to him. All in the name of science. Honestly, you can't take this guy anywhere. You honestly can't take this guy.
I had that up for at least half an hour.
Well, Alan was asking me today, what is paranormal crabs?
Paranormal crabs is a sexually transmitted disease from when you hang around this man too much.
Yep. It's what happens when you piss people off that are in the kind of spiritual realm, and then they do magic potions and they send them out to you.
Well, paranormal crabs is, I'm sure, what happens when you sit too close to someone eating nothing but bun cakes and tea.
I've not a cup of tea for a bit. I've not a cup of tea for a month and a half. I drink coffee.
That's an aneurysm.
I only really drink tea now and again. Honestly, I just sometimes I don't know. But it's between that and your bloody how you change for the clapping, for instance. It's like in Scotland that means something totally different.
Well, here in the US, that means something else.
Yeah, it's like in the UK, you guys in America have to take names for the UK and change them. It's like path. Let's take path, for instance. Everybody knows what a path is. It's the thing at the side of the road that you walk on. But you Americans have to make it easier to understand, so you call it sidewalk, so you know how to walk on it.
You've seen the shit us Americans have gotten into. We don't simplify it.
And then there's the one that really annoys me, that really gets down to the core, is when you call aluminium. It's when you call aluminium aluminum.
It's aluminum.
For the love of all that's fucking holy, it's aluminium.
What the fuck? I don't know what the fuck you're
honestly,
talking about.
I don't know why you have to call it that. I mean, because it's got a name. Aluminium.
No, it's not. It's aluminum.
Do you ken that aluminium is actually one of the most abundant minerals on the earth? Everybody thinks it's iron, but it's actually aluminium.
Yeah, very true. Very true. It's aluminum.
Yeah. Fuck. It's bloody aluminium. I agree to you there. What's that? Tomatoes or whatever. Honestly, he's always changing names. It's like when you let's get a car, for instance. Right? We call a car boot, right? A car boot. You open it and you put your luggage in, you put your stuff in. It's called a boot. But no, you have got to change it to trunk, because you obviously a trunk is like a suitcase or something. But no,
and legitimate question. What do you UK wankers call when someone boots your car?
What do you mean? Crashes into it?
Like if someone were to put like a yellow clamp on your tire so you can't drive away.
Clamping it?
Yeah, we call that a boot.
No, it's called clamping.
It's called a boot.
It's called clamping.
It's called a boot.
We call it clamping because that is what it is. It's a clamp. It's no called. It's not a boot. A boot to us is a black thing or a brown suede thing that you put in your foot and then lace up before you go out.
We call it the boot. We're booting a car. Yeah.
See, that's just weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That you would.
It's like we use call it. It's like a car, for instance. Here's another one. Us British people.
You're calling yourself British?
Well, no, Scottish people then, and English people and Irish people. When you get a car, you call it the hood under the engine, right?
Aye.
That's what it's called. It's called a bonnet. It's called a bonnet.
Why would
my
you call
good
it
man.
the fucking bonnet?
Because it's a bonnet. It goes up and down. It's like a hat. It's a bonnet. It covers the engine. That's why it's called
a bonnet. You would
the bonnet.
put something on like a little
Okay,
baby.
and this is a paranormal show, and we're talking about aluminum and today
you
we're going
said
to be talking about
You
plastics.
said it.
Yes,
You said
plastic.
it. You just said it. You just said it. You just said it.
What?
You said it was aluminum.
See what he's done to me? He's drove me fucking mad. He's
I
done it.
know it's supposed to be a paranormal show, but it's obviously a BS episode. Because God has been kind of lacking in getting guests.
Well, she's driving the wrong side of the road too. What's that all about?
What is
driving
it?
the right side?
No, we drive on the right side.
No. We drive on your side, which is the right side.
Yeah, we drive on the right side.
But you it really annoys me about American cars. The steering wheel's in the wrong bit.
Not if you're
I was in one the other. Somebody's got one, an imported one, a 1986 model, like a big one of the big like Uncle Buck vehicles, and somebody taking me out in the end. And I was sitting in that, and I was like, "Oh, I feel weird." I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I've got a steering wheel.
No, we have cars over here like that. Usually, the post office uses them.
Manuals, ladies and gentlemen. I drive a manual car. Americans can't drive manuals, can't you know?
Maybe if you're old.
I remember hearing the story.
No, that's got to be more of a generational thing. You got to take into consideration that the best way to prevent your car from getting stolen these days is to have a manual.
Yeah, well, I've always driven
a manual. Wouldn't be able to drive one.
I'll say this to you: automatics are really great to drive. They're amazing to drive in the traffic, and they're amazing if you're driving up a hill because it doesn't roll back. They're great. But I could tell a story once, and it was somebody'd come out for America, and they'd get into the motor, they'd rented a car out, and of course it was a manual, and they didn't come out today. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So a question. There was a thing I was talking to Dakota tonight before we come on live, and I want to know more about it. And Project Looking Glass. What's your opinion on it? What is your opinion on that? Do you think? Now, obviously, it's got the Stargate and all that, and there's meant to be like a seat where they can see into the future or the past, right? Mm-hmm. And it's been predicted that was obviously what was it? What was that other project again? It was Piddle Pops. It's popped out my head. That's him putting me off because it hangs aluminum. But anyway, what's that? Is MK Ultra? They used it.
Yes.
What's your opinion on that, by the way? I find that so interesting, that Project Looking Glass.
Looking Glass was actually utilized in several different projects. Part of it was espionage. Some of it was time travel tech, like Dot said. It was also believed to be utilized in UFO detection.
What I've managed to, because I've been watching quite a lot of stuff on it, what they were saying is they found a downed UFO. Well, they found a downed UFO. They're probably given a downed UFO. And there was equipment in it because some of the UFOs fly because the alien or whatever they are, without touching anything, they use their mind to fly the ship. Well, they thought they could use that. So they tame that for like maybe psychic people that are psychic. So as they could see into the future or see into the past or change things. That's what I found interesting. How they might have changed things. Because it was actually... Because it's really interesting because we were talking about these things that the Mayans made. And they were little cylinders. And you rolled them in clay and it told like a story. And then there was the ones for the Inca and even further back. And it told tales of like in 2012 the world was going to end, right? And there is people out there that say that they used this machine to stop that from happening. They changed something.
Yeah, that part I find BS.
I find it quite strange. Look, this is what gets me, right? Now you've got Dr. Stephen Greer, right? He left Area 51. He started talking about this stuff later on, but then you get these people that come forward. Oh, I worked there 5 years ago, and I seen this and I seen that and I seen this, and they're talking freely and nothing happens to them. You don't find that a bit odd? No, even the government comes down on them. Or is that deliberate? Because they want it to get there.
There is a number of different things that you have to take into consideration. There's part of it that is controlled disclosure, where certain people are given permission to freely talk about this by their superiors without any higher ups interfering. And there's also people that are sent out there to purposely talk bullshit.
Yes.
In order to throw off the ones that are being legitimate.
Yeah, I was watching a couple last night, and there was these folk, and they said they worked in Area 51. There's stuff that just didn't ring true. They were just talking about stuff, and I think they were just making it up as they went along. And that's what's wrong with the UFO community now, because there is people like that. Yeah. I've seen people like that in the paranormal that just make stuff up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, big time make stuff up, and then they make a career of it. And you see them on telly and all that, talking about this kind of stuff, and you're like, but they're making it up. But because it sells. It sells.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a few UFOologists, famous ones out there that I don't think are real. I think they've been put in by the CIA or whoever runs everything to spew utter shit for all the mad believers running about them. And then there's people out there that talk the truth that don't get believed. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why.
There's a lot of people. One thing I've noticed especially was that with the people that actually do speak the genuine experiences, and even if you're skeptical about it, which perfectly healthy response, especially with the types of topics that are discussed, they stick to their stories, and more often than not, enough weird shit happens around them to where even the skeptics are left scratching their heads. But one thing I've noticed is that with a lot of these people, they are so how can I put this? They're so comfortable in their little boxes.
Yeah.
That if they can't tell if someone has a drinking problem, a history of mental illness, or issues with drugs, that scares the living shit out of them. Because they can't pinpoint what's wrong with this person for them to have that type of thing. And the second that they find one little thing, they latch onto it like fucking barnacles on a sea turtle.
I mean, it's quite interesting because there is people out there that I think are amazing. Their stories I've told are amazing. You're one of them. Elena's one of them. And then there's Danny, she's one of them. And there's all the guests that Elena has on and stuff like that, and Danny has on and stuff. And I was intrigued. What was his name that was on, I think it's Elena or Danny's show, and talking about how he was on Mars and then he was brought back and his memory was wiped. And that creeped me out, actually, because I actually had goosebumps when I was listening to him. Because it was,
And that one thing I liked about Tony is that he actually tries to find evidence to prove that he's not totally crazy, and he's had shit pop up where it legitimately deliberately looks like somebody is trying to set him off on a mental downward spiral.
I will say that there is a lot of trolls out there, and they go after like Elena. And they go after like Danny and stuff like that and attack them for no apparent reason. I think, I'll tell you something right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they were working for the government. Honestly. If they're trying to put them off. Honestly, I think to try and put them off. I think the truth with the UFOs has got to come out more and more and more. And I think they should be turning to people like that more. It's like these Senate hearings about the UFOs and that. They should be speaking to folk like Elena, or like Danny, or like you, or the guy from Mars and stuff like that, instead of just talking to folk that work there. See, this is the madness here. Maybe they will, I don't know. Maybe they will start talking about it one day.
The RO office, that's one thing I've always got kind of thrown off about. It's like, okay, I understand the idea that you're only wanting to focus in on like airline pilots and government workers.
Mm-hmm.
You want people to have the access to the shit you want to know about because you know that something is going on behind the scenes that the rest of the government does not have access to. And
Yeah.
something that Eisenhower was ticked off about, Kennedy likely got shot over it. It's been going on for years, and they're trying to dig that up. I understand the thought process, but you're leaving out so much of the demographic of people who are having legitimate experiences, where the only exception with these people is that they may not have any expertise to really understand what the hell happened to them. And for fuck's sake, there's Pentagon reports that fully admit that the abductions have taken place and mysterious pregnancies have also emerged.
Yeah.
They're coming out and saying it. It's happening.
But there's people out there who'll go, oh, but there's no evidence like Elena and you and all that. Same, but there is evidence. There is evidence, and this is the evidence. This is the evidence I see as somebody that's been looking at this for a while and watching you unfold and stuff like that. You've got memories that Elena knows, and Elena's got memories that you know, which is strange. It's like you've seen her up there. She's seen you up there.
I have the
people
emails prove it.
You've said maybe something and then she's went, oh, but that's happened to me. The same kind of thing. And you have said it. I mean, you look what happened when we first met Elena, right? Look at the weird shit that happened. Right?
Look at how bad I was frozen like a damn deer in headlights because I was so much in shock.
Mm-hmm. I think there's folk out there that don't believe this stuff, right? And I can quite understand it. But I can tell you something now, guys, that is real. I've tried to kind of shuffle away from it a wee bit because it kind of spooked me. It kind of spooked me. It kind of, I don't know if it done something to me, but it's made me weird, right? I've tried to kind of block. Maybe I shouldn't have. I've blocked it off, and I shouldn't maybe do that. I shouldn't do it, and that's maybe why I've got all mixed up and stuff like that. But I've tried to just stay away from it now. But it's weird because I can picture that time. I can picture that first experience I had. That we all experienced the same dream. Everyone is. It wasn't just me and Dakota. There was others there that experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. I don't know why they pick certain people. That's what I don't get. That's the only one thing I don't get. Why do they pick some people that like shy away and they don't want to talk about it? But eventually,
allegedly, that is to simply sort of like implant the thoughts and ideas behind all this type of stuff into the planetary matrix so it leaks out into other people.
Yeah.
That's allegedly.
So it's like them giving me the experience, but I maybe know 100%. Like I don't know what to do with that, right? Because I'm like, oh, what's happening here? And I'm just weird about it. But I go to somebody and I say, "Ken, something? Aliens exist, by the way. Aliens exist." And then that person thinks, well, aliens exist. And then they'll look into it and it starts like a chain reaction kind of thing. Is that what you're going to mean?
Part of it, but there's actually been some interesting experiments. There was, I can't remember exactly where this was done, but say they brought a random group of people in, showed them this picture, and asked them to identify how many faces are in this picture, right? And maybe some of them would get at least 5 of the faces. So they're all right, thank you, have a nice day. They bring in another group, show them the exact same picture, ask them how many faces they can find, then physically point out where all the faces are.
Yeah.
Then, all right, they bring back the first group. And they will bring back the first group, and they also bring back all the other, a few different other groups. All of a sudden, all these different groups are able to find every single face, even though none of them were supposed to have any sort of contact.
See, that's interesting.
That's what I'm saying,
interesting.
is that the very thought gets into one person, and something about how that person thinks and feels, it reverberates through the ether, affects other people, it affects their mindset, then slowly but surely, more and more people get to be more accepting of these things. That's why they say you have like soft disclosure in the media.
Mm-hmm.
It introduces the ideas to the populace, so that way they're a little bit more open-minded about it.
I mean, it's like when the Pentagon first came out with all that stuff. I was shocked about how the internet took it. Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Well,
All the ufologists are like, "Oh, that's gonna," but all the normal folk are just like, "Oh, aliens exist." Oh, do you want to see my new dance? That kind of thing. And I'm like,
yeah, that was anticlimactic, but it could very well be that was by design. Is that right now, right as all those revelations are coming forward, we have shortages, inflation affecting everybody. People are just trying to figure out how the hell they're making it to the next paycheck, or if they're getting another paycheck at this rate.
I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly, do you know the UFO sightings have been kind of dying? Do you know a wee bit lately? There is a lot of fake ones out there, especially on TikTok and that, but you can usually tell because the CGI is utter shit. But do you know the UFO sightings have been kind of quieting down lately?
I think you have to take into consideration. Notice how it always seems like sightings kick up in the summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're going to have more people out and about. It's warm, it's nice. People don't want to stay in the house all day. But now, at least here in the northern hemisphere, we got snowstorms. It's freezing over.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go 5 minutes without somebody ending up in a ditch because they think their four-wheel drive is safe on the road. No, people aren't wanting to focus up. Plus, the weather doesn't exactly accommodate looking for UFOs unless, for some reason, that craft is coming down awfully low. Then you got something else going on. But like you said, there's even AI is getting to a point where the videos can be completely generated
Oh, that's
just with a
spooky.
few
That.
words.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality of the shit that it's making is amazing.
Did you see that? What Turco Carrison said the other day? He was getting interviewed, and he said about the elites, and he says they think they're the Nephilim. He actually came out and said it.
Actually,
Yeah.
did you know there's been declassified documents from the Clinton administration talking about invading Iraq because, and there's several references to Nephilim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see Lawrence in the chat put their Stargate found in Iraq years ago.
Yeah, no, we kind of blew him off about that one. I was trying to loop that in finally.
I try to look that in. But I will say this, and I've noticed this. You used to get quite a lot of it online, but you don't hear about much of it anymore. As abductions have went down. Now, why is that? Is that because the greys have been dealt with?
The ones causing the majority of the abductions were gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Some of the greys are all right, but some of them aren't. It's a kind of
the ones that genuinely worry about are gone, and there's going to be people that say, "Oh, they're not gone. They're still here. They're still affecting people." You got to realize the human mind is one of the most powerful but dangerous things on the planet. And if it's been affected by something like that, it can recreate circumstances that feel very real. It can happen. And maybe putting the fear in that you're still being attacked, you're still being abducted by these things, opens the door so you have even more legitimate attacks start slamming on you, and no one will believe you.
But I will say this. There's a lot of folk online and YouTubers and TikTok going on about the bad ones as if they're good. And then I'm like, I just sat and watched them, and I'm like, Jesus, why do this? And they've got like hundreds of folk in the chat saying, "Oh yes, we love the greys and all that kind of stuff." And I feel like sometimes Ken something, they've got all these views, they've got like 500,000 subscribers. Sometimes I feel to myself, these like CIA implants that they're trying to do this deliberately. You see where I'm going with this?
It's not going to directly reflect on the CIA. There are agencies out there that are funded by cash donations from government agencies. This can be validated, that pay for social media influencers, and that came out big when Biden took office.
Yeah. Okay, what I find interesting that your signal is not dropping, but your thing keeps freezing, and it's freezing for my phone, but it's also freezing when you're talking about this.
No, it's nothing new.
No, it's nothing. It's no as if we've got like the knowledge of the universe and we're talking about it. But it's like
But they also
like
know that we've actually dealt with the real shit.
Well, you've dealt with the real shit. I've experienced it. But there's your cat agreeing with me. That isn't the odd one with the odd paw, is it?
No, that would be one of the new ones who is trying to claw up the back of my chair.
You're surrounded by cats. I've noticed that. A lot of you guys that are into the UFOs and that are surrounded by cats. I've noticed that.
What's kind of weird about that, though?
What?
They say that cats have a parasite in their stool that makes people like them. So if all these people that have dealt with UFOs are cat lovers.
You could have, what's it called out of Marvel? What is it? A flucker? A fluker or whatever?
A flurkin?
A flurkin. That's what it could be, I'm telling you. You could have a flurkin. Have you seen the new episode? Marvel, have you seen the new one? And they're all aboard the spaceship, and the spaceship's got to crash, but they've only got enough life rafts they've only got one life raft. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen the new one.
Well, I
haven't really watched Marvel movies since Endgame.
No, well, quick story short, they're in this spaceship, and I'm not going to tell you what exactly happens to the spaceship. There's like a crew of 300, right? Something's going to happen to the spaceship, right? And they need to get the crew off, right? But they've only got one escape pod, right? But luckily, the Flurkins, luckily there's 35 Flurkins on board the ship. So they tell the head cat, see the one that hangs about the guy with the patch. Yeah. He says, right, get your pals to eat the crew. So they all eat the crew, and then all the cats climb aboard the space pod, and it gets ejected, and it lands on a planet, and the door opens, and all the cats come running out, and then start regurgitating. They're alive. They're still alive, but they start regurgitating everything. It's mad. It's the maddest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I also know that at some point they go through an alternate reality that introduces the X-Men.
Yeah. It's one of the most maddest movies in the history of mankind. You know?
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really watched Marvel movies since Endgame.
But it's like, look, I will say this, cats are strange animals. I will say that, and they are very mystical. Yeah, here's something I bet you didn't ken. You maybe do ken this, right? And this is nothing to do with UFOs or spirits or anything like that. This is actually quite gory. How long do you think it takes from a cat eating someone if they die in their house?
Matter of days.
Actually, no. As soon as you're called. They'll start eating you.
I know.
The different dogs will wait for like 3 days before they'll. I learned that the other day there. It was somebody I know works for crime investigation thing, right? And I get into a conversation with him, and we're talking about cats, and he was telling us a story about how we had to get into a house that they'd found a body in, and he says it's actual fact, cats will start eating you as soon as you're cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird though, isn't it? But you think that because the Egyptians used them to like protect the tombs and all that because they do see spirits.
I know.
Dakota's got to be lying the night. If he feels something nibbling in his tail. What's that in the chat? Dots, MC, nuts. Sorry, lads, have to go. Early start in the morning. Take care of it. Goodbye, lads.
All right, have a good one, Lawrence. Catch the playback.
But it's
jag off. Just kidding.
But I will say, look, cats are weird, and I'm going to say that right now. Cats are really weird. Do you ken there's one? My neighbours up the road have got this Persian thing. It's got a name. I can't remember. Jenny will be able to help me. It's this weird. It's like a Persian cat. It looks like the cat. You ever seen Alice in Wonderland? And there's the mad cat with the kind of fluff. You get them with Persian kind of cat.
Cheshire cat, yeah.
Like that, like a Cheshire cat, but much, much bigger, right? It's a lazy bastard, right? Do you ken it'll lie in the main road and all the traffic have to get round about it? I'm serious. It just lies in the middle of the road and goes to sleep. And you'll have lorries and everything trying to get round about it.
Sounds like my cat.
Yeah. What's that? Galactic Star Dust Sealants. So what other UFO news is in the world, Dakota? What other strange things are happening?
Well, we have the death of Henry Kissinger.
I heard about that.
Right.
No,
there's a lot of movement when it comes to the UFO disclosures, and that people fully believe could actually open the doors a lot quicker for the government to just come out and fucking say everything.
Yeah. I wish they would. I wished I could wake up the morning and they would come out and say, listen, ETs are here. Here they're here. Here they're all starting. By the way, the Federation will be landing at 12 o'clock today in the White House lawn. They're bringing new technology. They've got to save the planet. We've got to cure cancer. And within 10 years, we'll be traveling among the stars. But that's not going to happen. It's going to be
no, they fully admitted to their secret programs that have been around since at least the 70s.
That's what fascinates me. The secret space program. How there's a breakaway civilization to the Earth. How many is there?
There's several.
So you're telling me that
French
there's like
have
3 or 4...
their own, the US have their own, the Russians, the Chinese, the ancient Mayans had their own.
So you're telling me they're out there right now watching us?
It's been well aware of now, and they've actually come out and admitted to it. There's declassified documents that admit to it, that it's out there.
So what do the American ones call themselves?
The primarily American ones, solar born, but there's international treaties where all countries contribute.
See, that's weird. Imagine keeping that hidden phase. Why? What's the point of doing it?
They had to.
What, do they not want civilization? Do they not want Earth to go into the stars or something?
They don't want to know what's out there that can eat them.
I'd be so what? Of course there's got to be creatures out there that eat you. I would love to be in a spaceship that knew flying, nosing around about the galaxy. There's going to be creatures out there that's got to eat you, but it's like the first explorers, you know what I mean? Think of the money to be made. The gold, silver.
That's going to be the ordeal. Money's not going to be a factor anymore.
I still need resources.
So you'll still need the resources, absolutely, but it's not going to be a major factor anymore.
But we still need like titanium to build ships and stuff like that. I mean, titanium and gold and silver and diamonds and stuff like that.
Certain projects were only brought to light because it was absolutely necessary.
But as soon as this planet is aware that you could probably go anywhere you want in this galaxy, people will start wanting to build ships. Let's face it.
That's the thing. Will they?
Look at Elon Musk.
Well, Elon's Elon.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Look at some of these UFO forums. How many people still have no clue what the hell Starlink is?
I know. I've
Every
seen that.
other
I've seen it.
UFO report that comes through, they say, "Oh, I seen this train of lights in the sky. I don't know
I
what
know.
it is. It's an alien invasion." I was like, "That's Elon Musk."
That's Elon Musk. It's like his new phone that he's making. He's got to be taken out of the iPhone market because he's making his own phone,
I know.
and it's connected to Starlink. And it doesn't matter where you are on the planet, you will get a reception. Anywhere you are, you could be in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle in a dinghy, and you would get a reception.
Apparently, it also generate Dogecoin.
Mm-hmm. But eventually, civilization on this planet is going to have to break away from this Earth. It's only a matter of time. Come on, we're using resources up like we're going out of fashion, right? Look at lithium, titanium, gold.
Here's the thing. We got to simply break away. What's going to guarantee we don't fuck up the next world we find, and the one after that, and the one after that, because we don't fucking learn how to control ourselves.
But that takes time. That takes time to learn.
That takes people pulling their heads out of their asses and being willing to learn.
Aye, but if you say, right, listen, we've built this engine, it'll take us to Proxima Centauri within 5 years. We're going to colonise that. And do that. If there's problems, there's problems. We have to learn. Because let's face it, because when the day come, and they will come, the Federation and that, when the day come down eventually, which I hope is soon, they're going to have to trust us at one point. We're going to have to say, right, listen, here's an engine here. This will get you to the nearest planet in a couple of months, kind of thing.
That's why we're in a 50-year probation period.
They'll watch us like a hawk.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's folk out there thinking, oh, that engine there, that'll take me to Proxima Centauri in 5 months. But it makes me wonder, what does it power? I can make a weapon out of that. Because there will be people that think that.
And unfortunately, despite what a lot of people think, and it's something that I see quite a bit of, no matter what happens next, there's always going to be the need for a military force to have a presence. There's always going to be a conflict.
No, I'm going to say this. You need some type of military stance. I'm going to say this now. I know I like the idea of the Star Trek. I'm a kind of Trekkie, right? I like Star Trek and stuff like that. Right? And I like the idea that they're explorers, but they're also protectors. Right? That's what they do. I like that. I think we should abolish navies, air forces, armies. I think we should abolish all of that. Totally abolish it. And have the people that are going out exploring are also the protectors. You see where I'm going with this? They're no military and they're no civilian. They're just a federation. Is that not how it works with the Galactic Federation? Is that not how it works with them? Because it's different worlds. Because what are they? Because obviously they've got a military stance, have they not?
The Federation is military.
Well, there you go. Then you're saying that we shouldn't have military stance, but they are a military stance.
They
so
are.
Why can we not have the same as them? If we start our own federation, or do we join them and then they help protect this planet while we go to another planet? So on.
Once we have full membership, we will have full access to benefits.
When do you think it'll happen? Everybody's saying in 6 months or something like that, something's going to happen, but I don't know what that's going to be.
There's some that say 6 months. There's other sources that try to say about 2027. There's some that'll say within the next 10. Some will say next 50 years. It's going to be a slow drip.
What's that Dots is saying there in the chat? The hub at Jupiter will always need protection. What's the hub?
Not that hub, Chris.
No. I'm just saying. No, but what is that? Was it a space station or something? What is that?
In a matter of speaking.
Or is it a moon? What is it? Tell
It
us.
has to take control on the moons.
So why is it at Jupiter then? There's nothing there except for a gas giant, or is there something else?
There is shit there. There is a lot there.
I do believe there's a lot of other planets in this solar system that we can't see, but they're colonized.
No, there's life on Jupiter. There's life on just about every planet in the solar system. Some of them we can't physically see because of how the universe works, but there is a hub towards Jupiter that is mainly controlled by the Earth Alliance, as well as some of our allies, that helps deal with our affairs. It's in a matter of speaking, it's yes, there's a big portal there. There's the huge portal there. There's several magnetic anomalies that actually attract meteors through that section.
Well, why? That planet itself got a gravitational pull in it.
It's where some try to say it's a failed star. Yeah.
That's right. It's a big portal, so is that like a jump gate then? Is that like something where you could put a ship through and it would take you somewhere?
Yeah. It's one of the main ones.
But it makes you, I mean, how many would you say? How many bad?
You control the portals, you control the solar system.
See, that's how I always wondered that. It makes you wonder how much life there is out there, the other galaxies that's out there. I wonder how many galaxies have been colonized, explored, I mean.
Nearly all of them.
All of them? But there's trillions of them. I mean, that would take ridiculously long amount of time.
And the only limitations we know of life's potential is the small fraction of what we see of life here on Earth. We have sharks that are completely adapted to live inside volcanoes.
That's right.
Active volcanoes.
Mm-hmm. Look at
99% of the creatures coming out of Australia and some of the weird shit they can do.
Look at that in the deepest part of the ocean where you've got the volcanoes coming up. There's life living round about they've grew, they've got no eyes, they've got no ears, and they live round about the heat coming out of the core of the earth. I mean, but they don't need to see because it's pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
But that's amazing, that.
The water's so dense out there that light can't penetrate. Alexa, shut up.
Yours is doing it now. What was it telling you?
I don't know.
And there's dots in the chat, black smokers. Aye. You know?
Yeah.
That's the CIA. Right, they're like, Roger, let's go and get him. We'll take him back to the base for interrogation. Get the anal probe out. Bring the Vaseline.
Yeah. I'd rather the KGB method.
What's that?
First weapon of the KGB is sex.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have Russian secrets that I can't divulge. You'll have to come and take me away, KGB. That's terrible. You probably sit at night, deliberately typing, man, like secrets of the KGB internet, hoping that they catch that kind of stuff and they'll come and abduct you.
Do you know how many times you have slammed Russia while on a live? Then the next live I do by myself, it's nothing but Russian women.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Some Russian women coming in. What's wrong with that?
They're very headstrong women. I will say that.
Well, I'm going to see what happens when I do this. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do this and see what happens. I think Russia is an amazing country, and I also think North Korea is awesome. Right. Let's see what happens now. You'll get Kim Jong-un in your chat.
You do realize Kim Jong-un has his own concubine force, right? He literally rounds up the more beautiful women in North Korea for their his and his officers' own pleasure. Seriously. Figures that I would know that, huh?
Here's the galactic stardust. My Surrey will pick up weird times too.
No, my Alexa would just tell me if she was recorded any voices that aren't mine in the middle of the night. That would be amazing.
Dos Vidania. I'm climbing in the window as we speak, Commander. I'll be like one of the big... you ever seen that film Zoolander? And he goes to the spa and there's that crazy Russian nurse. That's what she'll be like. You'll wake up to that.
But the route is in the voce.
But look, it makes you wonder who's watching this. I mean, it makes you wonder if there's any aliens watching this.
There's
Or
a
in
few.
the future. In the future, they'll be watching us. Hello! Beam me up! Yeah. I wonder what they think he is too. I'm like, oh my god, they two are fucking idiots.
Well, mine usually just roll her eyes at me and say, "Okay, Dad."
That's something I kind of get. How time doesn't work up there, but it works down here.
Time is only affected the way we know it when you're in the gravitational pull of a large enough body.
So you're telling me if I was floating in deep space with nothing round about me, time wouldn't exist?
Time does exist. It just doesn't. It's not affected by the gravity of your body. Time is affected by everything that it has to move around. Technically, me being a bigger guy, I perceive time slower than someone who's really short.
Or it's the scenario of if you set your watch at 4 p.m. and I set my watch at 4 p.m. and then I go into a rocket and went into space and flew around about Earth and then come back again, my clock would be, in theory, would be in front of yours by a couple of minutes or whatever.
That's because you're pushing flow.
See,
again, people always seem confused when I say this. Time is not a river, it's an ocean. It's water. It's fluid. It's the easiest way I can explain how it works. Everything that's in the water affects the flow.
So is there any way affecting the flow so you can go back in time?
Yeah.
And then rejoin time again. We're going into like Thanos here and all that kind of getting the stones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The multiverse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So in theory, right, say time's a river flowing in front of me now. I could build like a culvert into that with some type of machine to divert a stream of time off somewhere and then join that. Get what I need, come out of that and then relit it join again and then go back into it.
Yeah.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Time travel.
All you got to remember when it comes to time travel is that Back to the Future is bullshit.
You can't have to get 88. I'm amazed that car did 88 miles an hour anyway.
Hey, those DeLoreans, man.
Well, they're made the different parts of cars. That's what people don't know. Different parts of cars in them.
I've always wanted one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you all start donating to Bald and Bonkers.
Because John DeLorean, the man who designed it, was actually a taller guy. He was 6'5".
I nearly said it's stainless steel body. I nearly said aluminum there, but then I went, it's a stainless steel body. It's going up.
Still said aluminum.
I know. Fucking Americans, you've done it to me again.
I broke him.
See, God, what are the UFOs made of, by the way? See some of the ones that's made out of metal. What are they made out of?
Time travel. I'll tell you about it last week. God, dots.
I wished I had a time machine. I would go forward. I would see what the Euro Millions results are on Tuesday because it's nearly $200 million. Then I would come back and put them on.
With that, because you did that, you affected the flow and therefore affected the outcome of the lotto numbers.
Aye, but I would still win the lottery because then I would know what they were.
No, it would affect the numbers that would be generated and pick the wrong ones.
But no, because I would go forward in time. I would go, oh, these are the
Because
numbers.
you
I'd write them
went
down,
through time.
and then I'd come back.
Because you
So
went
you're
through
telling me I
time, you
can't cheat in the lottery here? That's terrible.
Trust me, I've tried.
So you're telling me you can't do that?
Because think about it. If water is fluid, then something that's small enough in it can also be affected by its motion. It's still flowing no matter what.
Mm-hmm. But that shouldn't.
And it's
But
a
that
game of
shouldn't affect.
When
That
it comes
shouldn't
to
affect.
lottery, when it comes to lottery, that's a game of probability. Each number combination is a
All right,
different
then.
probability, therefore a different branch of the multiverse.
All right, then what would happen if I went forward in time and went to somebody I didn't like and punched them in the square in the face and then come back to this realm? What would happen?
Technically nothing.
Oh, so there you go. You can get away with like punching somebody in the face, but you can't get the lottery numbers.
Because the probabilities are smaller.
So you can go forward in time and steal something then and bring it back to the present.
In theory, yes.
But would that no duplicate it?
In theory, yes.
So in theory, you could go forward in time to Fort Knox, steal all the gold, right? Bring it back to the new, right? I've just gave him an idea for something, by the way. And in theory, you wouldn't have stole the gold because it was duplicated. I think he's froze, ladies and gentlemen. Dakota! Oh my goodness me, ladies and gentlemen, he's froze. He's been took. He's been took, ladies and gentlemen. The Galactic Federation have took him. That's weird when that happens. It really is. What's that, Dots? Time travel. I'll tell you about it last week. That was a good one. You should watch the Umbrella Academy. I'll have a look at that. Never Dakota's away. Very strange, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it a couple of minutes here. We'll give it a couple of minutes and see if he comes back in. So how are you all in the chat tonight, ladies and gentlemen, while we wait on the... Because we have 10 watching. Where are you all from? I know what Dots is from Ireland. Where are you all from? Please put in the chat where you're from. That's weird. He just disappeared. It's a good job of that because it's nearly the end of the show. Can you write in the chat to see if you can still hear me? Because I don't. It's went for weird for me in the chat. Very strange that was. Northeast Eastern USA. Wow. I'll bring you up there. Northeastern USA. I'm just checking to see if he's left me a message. He's not even online. I think his internet's went out, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the show, guys. I think he's been abducted by the aliens, you know. Oh, it's Louise. I didn't ken that was you in Ireland. Hi. Did you know? So I'm going to end this show because we're at an hour anyway. And we'll see you all next weekend. Oh, he's back! He's back! Just getting ready to end the show.
Goddamn
The what?
TVA.
Was that the TVA then? Are you
Time
okay or
Variance
something?
Authority. I don't know what the hell just happened, man.
But that was weird when I was asking you that question. As I'll ask you again before I was going to end the show. So you could divert the river, go forward in time, right? Steal all the gold out of Fort Knox, bring it back to the present, right? And in theory, when the next day comes round where you've went and stole the gold, it's duplicated back in there and you've no stole that gold, but you've got gold. Am I right?
Yes.
So why don't they do that?
Ethical reasons.
Why? It's a great idea. You
They're
mean you want
also-
to win the lottery?
Their technology is also to where they can replicate the materials they need on the spot.
I was just gold, man.
They can replicate.
I can't even.
If you can readily replicate something, that immediately deteriorates its value.
That's very true. But obviously, the price of something like that to even create a machine to do that would be so expensive it wouldn't be worth it.
It's a lot more profitable just to keep the population in check.
That's interesting, that, because if there was a big terrorist attack, you could go forward in time, you could see if there was a terrorist attack, and then you could come back. But I can't even wrap my mind around about this time travel push, by the way. You just pick up my brain after make me say aluminum.
It's one of those things you don't want to think about because even the most brilliant minds can't handle it.
It's weird, that, isn't it? But here's a question, right? Here's a question before the end of the show tonight. Where did everything come from?
That's a very good
Everybody
question.
says there was the Big Bang. Everybody says there was the Big Bang. Is there any alien races out there that have figured it out? If the universe came for a pop, right? And again, this is that there must have been something there to make that pop, right? Where did it all come from? There's bound to be extraterrestrials out there that have sat down and thought about this for millions of years and tried to figure it out.
Here's the thing, though. There's certain branches of the Federation who build planets, quite literally. They figured out They figured out the necessary equations to create planets, to create new life. If they're able to figure that out, who's to say someone didn't beat them to it? And it's just the children mastering what the parent had already known.
See, I think it's mere. I think it's where we come from in spiritual form, the afterlife or whatever you want to call it. I think they created all of this for us, right? And who's to say when you go back there that they all think that somebody created that, and it goes on, 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 for infinity.
Because it's an infinite loop.
Mm-hmm. No, the Earth one day will be swallowed by the sun. I don't think it's got to be recreated again.
Who's to say creation itself is just nothing more but a loop?
So after 600 trillion billion yillion years, right, the universe explodes and begins again, and everything repeats itself.
Who's to say?
See, that's
Who could prove it wrong?
It's madness. It's madness because if you ever sit and really think about it, it can give you a migraine. You're sitting here, you're on a planet, you're whizzing through the solar system, and to think round about you, there's nothing out there, but there is other things out there. To think how small you and insignificant you are at this moment.
Yet at the same time,
everybody.
You realize your genuine potential, how truly significant you actually are.
Oh, yeah, it's life. I mean, you just need to look at some worlds out there where there's nothing on them. But then again, it was probably an advanced civilization that created us. We thought, oh, let's have an experiment, let's create the Earth. And now they're sitting thinking, holy fuck, what have we done? You know.
Who's to say,
So
who's to say that every aspect of creation, aspect of source, withholds a universe within itself in the process of infinitely repeating? Every thought you manifest, every fantasy you ever have, every character you ever make up, every imaginary friend, in fact, does materialize in its own universe and could potentially interact with our own.
you're getting deep, really deep.
I know. This is one of those things that, like,
I'm sitting here thinking, looking at
some people are like, Dakota, don't what? Did you start smoking
even
something?
even
To be able
Pete
to
here's
think
like,
of that?
what you on? I don't know what you're talking about.
But think about it. You have the phenomenon of Tulpa's thought forms being sentient life being created from mere thought and meditation practices. You
Right.
have ETs who teach entire courses and equations on how to create worlds and life.
Right.
It's already there.
But here's one for you. Talk about topas and stuff like that. Like the Hat Man and creatures like that, right? I had to mention him. I don't know why I did that, but I had to mention because people are thinking about him and brought him to life and stuff like that, or like Slender Man. So why is it no happened with Jesus? Because the origins in the world, or the billions that believe in Jesus. Why is no brought him into existence?
Because they can't agree on who the hell Jesus is.
Exactly.
Whereas,
he could have been a wee guy with one leg for all we can.
Whereas there is proof that's just that there was a guy out there named Yeshua who did do some miracles. But you also got to consider people suck when it comes to keeping record of events. They do.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say there wasn't more than one guy named Yeshua who all had tricks up their sleeves, and because people don't want to actually dig into the bottom of the story, all those different dudes end up blended into one.
Mm-hmm.
To where even if you were to have Yeshua materialize out of thin air, sit down next to you, even he's going, I don't know where the fuck they got that.
My brain is pickled between aluminum and American Saints and now time itself. It's the Twilight Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Do not adjust your smartphone. You should come on with a big glass ball, and it's to tell everybody yes. And then there's a time we're in. I
have a crystal ball somewhere.
Oh, you would have a fucking crystal ball.
A little black one.
You don't get two of them, no. Both hands. Oh my god.
Naughty.
I'm sorry. End the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week before I turn into a raving lunatic. I'm going to my bed to dream about the infinite space, the time continuum. If you see me in your dream world, run as fast as possible.
Oh, that's actually a topic we can go into for another show now that I think about it.
What?
But we'll talk about it later.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
Oh, come on. I feel offended. What?
Fuck it. We're still fucking live.
Well, I know we're still live. A song for tonight.